Hello everyone. Today I want to go over an ongoing theme of you can't shoot that with this. Because I still get questions and comments like, hey, what do you think of this camera and these features compared to this camera and that set of features? And you know, my camera, your camera, two different things. What I like, what you like, two different things. The way one camera system works with me is going to work differently with you. It is an ongoing theme that I'm trying to get across here. Now, you know, so many YouTube and, well, let's just say generalized influencers that are photographers tell you can't shoot that with this. This camera is unusable. This focusing system is worthless. I'm dumbfounded on the sheer stupidity that everything I've shot when digital came out, which was for me, a Kodak DCS620 2.1 megapixel camera that I used professionally for 2 years, was absolutely a piece of crap in comparing to today's. Now, don't get me wrong, I am thrilled that I have a 45 megapixel camera that focuses so fast and that puts out files the way it does. I'm not downing the advancement of cameras, but to say that a camera that's 1 year, 2 year, 3 years old, or even 5 years old is just not worth it, that you can't shoot that with this, is bizarre and absurd to me. You know, not everybody can afford a 45 megapixel, $4,000, $5,000, or $6,000 camera. And it doesn't stop you. It's like saying you're somewhere and someone says, hey, can you grab this picture for me? I'll pay you for it. I'm sorry, sir, I can't shoot that because I have this camera and I would need my other camera for that. Or, you know, if I had this camera, period, but I don't own that camera, so I can't shoot that for you. No one's gonna say that. We're gonna shoot it. We're gonna do the best we can with what we have. And 90% of the time, if you are good at what you do, you will get the shot. So I just wanted to throw in some photos for you that I've taken over a short span of years from my 2.1 megapixel camera that can't be used. The focus system today would be considered completely worthless and don't even buy it, to the megapixels, which were 2 megapixels, 6 megapixels, 12 megapixels, and the largest megapixel was 24. And there's only a few of them in there, and that was the Sony A7 II, which today would be considered an unusable, don't buy it camera. Yet there are professionals that are still using that camera today and doing really well with it. But to influencers, it's a complete waste of money and something that's archaic. Now, I shot a lot of my stuff on film cameras. By the way, I'm gonna do a quick shoot with this thing and show the images. This is the Olympus 35 SP, which is a rangefinder camera, and the lens is incredible. But anyway, I'll share them to you, share them with you. This is 50 years old and it's pretty much brand new. Love these little things. Anyway, you can shoot that with this. Now, the very first image I'm going to show you is what got me into entertainment, and I loved it so much. I was at the Tonight Show. I used the Nikon F3 HP, which was a banger camera, but it was manual focus and, you know, film, and but it was the joy. It was the shit back then, and it worked really well. So I made that camera work. Today it's inconsiderable. You know, you just can't use anything that's manual focus or slow focus, for God's sakes. Some of these motion photos, these ice skating and dance, they're done with 6 megapixel and 12 megapixel cameras that can't be used. So here's the images, just a small bit, all old technology. And they were all published. I was paid for all of them, and here they are. I hope you enjoy.
I don't want to go through every image and tell you what it is or what camera it was shot on, but this is where my entertainment career started at the Tonight Show with a Nikon F3 HP, a film camera that was all manual focus, a 50mm 2.8 Jeep lens, and this was a 2.1 megapixel Kodak DCS620. The point is isn't what I was shooting with. It's the images that you can capture even with older gear. You know, any of these shots today, a influencer would say, "Oh, you can't do that with this." Now, this was a full production shoot for Nickelodeon. You know, I couldn't tell them that, "I'm sorry, the gear's just not up to your standards yet. We'll have to wait a couple of years for the new camera to come out." It just doesn't work like that. You know, most of this stuff here couldn't be shot in today's standards. You know, Dancing with the Stars, this is a focus system that was horrible in today's standards, but it worked. It does the job. So what I'm trying to get at is, don't listen to influencers when they tell you, you know, you can't shoot that with this. You can shoot anything with anything you have. You can't make excuses for your gear. You can only make excuses for your talent level. You know, if you don't have the ability to shoot something, the camera's not going to help. Yeah, I'm really happy that I have a 45 megapixel camera that just does everything really well. But all these shots, they're here. They were published. They were paid for. They were in magazines, in articles. They were in books. They were advertising pieces. Everything was done on cameras that were megapixels of 2, 6, 12, 16, 24. And believe it or not, very few of these were done on the 24. This was featured in a documentary at Cher and her son. I've shot weddings with 12 megapixel cameras that just were spectacular. So don't be held back by what influencers tell you you can't use, or that's not usable in today's standards. Everything is usable. This is Sidney Crosby's very first time on NHL ice. What are you going to say, that I'm sorry, I can't shoot this because I don't have the right camera? You're just going to shoot it. Anyway, use the camera you have, use the gear you have, and get to where you need to be.